Welcome to Time of Death. This video is for informational purposes and in no way meant to glorify or condone violence. In today's video, we'll be discussing the murder of Enrique Escalante Lopez. Lopez was shot and killed on Monday, May 26, 2014, near the intersection of 65th Street and Paramount Boulevard in Long Beach, according to LA County coroner records. Ricardo Gonzalez and Carlos Escalante were subsequently arrested and charged with the murder. The following is the evidence at trial. On May 26, 2014, at about 12:30 p.m., victim Lopez Jr., a Westside Longo gang member, was standing near his sister's car near the corner of 65th Street and Paramount Boulevard in Long Beach. His father, Lopez Sr., his sister's boyfriend, Osuna, their neighbor, Frazier, and a mechanic named Cortez, and two children were also present. The neighbor saw a blue Honda Civic driving on 65th Street toward Paramount Boulevard. The car slowed as it approached. The front passenger had a gun and fired several rounds. The neighbor saw the gun and he hid behind a blue dumpster. He heard several bullets hit the dumpster. When the shooting began, Lopez Sr. and Cortez ducked and Osuna ran. Osuna suffered a bullet wound to the leg. Lopez Jr. was killed by a single gunshot wound to his upper middle back. Lopez Sr. told police that on the morning of the shooting, he saw a blue Honda or Toyota drive by. He saw the passenger make hand signs. Lopez Sr. later identified defendant Escalante as the passenger in a Facebook photograph provided by detectives. At trial, Lopez Sr. pointed to defendant Escalante, who was seated in the courtroom, as the person he identified as the vehicle's passenger when he was interviewed by detectives. 3 9mm bullet casings were found in the street near the corner of Paramount Boulevard and 65th Street. Another 9mm casing was found on 65th Street near the blue dumpster, which had a bullet hole. The recovered casings were fired from the same gun. On November 19, 2014, Long Beach police officer Andrew Fox conducted a traffic stop on a blue Honda Civic. Defendant Escalante was driving and defendant Gonzalez was in the front passenger. Both were arrested. Gonzalez was 19 years old at the time. Escalante was 18 years old but would be 19 the following month. On November 20th, 2014, Detective Sean Irving conducted a Perkins operation by placing defendants in separate cells at the Long Beach jail with paid agents who posed as fellow inmates. An audio recording of the operation was played for the jury. Defendant Gonzalez was placed in a cell with 2 Perkins agents, designated in the transcript of the operation as PA-1 and PA-2. PA-1 was a Hispanic male in his mid-30s, approximately 6 feet tall and weighed 300 pounds. PA-2 was in his early 30s, approximately 5 feet 10 inches tall and weighed 180 pounds. PA-2 had visible tattoos on his arms. While the agents were in his cell, defendant Gonzalez told PA-1 that he was a Uno Sinvergüenzas gang member known as Glock. Detective Peter Lakovich subsequently entered the cell area and informed Gonzalez that he was being investigated for a murder that occurred on 65th Street. Lakovich told Gonzalez, "Your boy Rascal's already here. You already know that." When Lakovich left the cell area, PA-1 asked defendant Gonzalez, "What, you like the most live homie from your hood or what?" Gonzalez replied, "Shit, I didn't get Glock for no reason." PA-1 said, "I need some youngsters like that on my team, fool." PA-1 then asked Gonzalez, "Who's that fool Lakovich was talking about?" Gonzalez identified him as the homie who was arrested with him and acknowledged that he was Gonzalez's crime partner. Defendant Gonzalez told the Perkins agent he was 19 years old, had been affiliated with USV since he was 13, and started banging at age 16. He said the 65th Street shooting had occurred during the day and that he used a Smith & Wesson firearm. Gonzalez told the agents he was driving his mother's blue Honda Civic when he and defendant Escalante passed a group of people whom they didn't know. One member of the group had a Longo tattoo on the back of his neck. Defendant Escalante exited the Honda and started banging on the group. Gonzalez told him to get back into the car because they would return later. After switching the Honda's license plates for dealer plates, Gonzalez and Escalante returned to the victim's location. This time, Escalante drove and Gonzalez was the passenger. An older gang member known as Lento accompanied them. When Escalante stopped the Honda at the victim's location, Gonzalez fired 9 rounds at the group. Gonzalez saw 4 fools down, but only 1 down. Gonzalez also shot at a big old black guy who hid behind a trash can. The following day, Gonzalez sold the gun he had used in the shooting to members of another gang. When one of the Perkins agents asked Gonzalez whether he felt any remorse about the shooting, Gonzalez responded, "No, hell no." Defendant Escalante was placed in the cell with the same larger Perkins agent, PA1, who had been in Gonzalez's cell. At some point during the operation, Escalante made a phone call. He asked the Perkins agent to help him remember some numbers, and the agent complied. When he finished the call, Escalante asked the agent what they got you for. The agent responded, "Got a warrant for murder." Escalante said, "Me fucking too." Escalante then asked the agent, "Where you from?" and stated that he was from USV. Detective Lagovich later entered the cell area and told Escalante that he and Plato had been arrested for the murder on 65th Street, and that Escalante had been identified as the shooter. Lagovich said he knew Escalante's moniker was Rascal and that Gonzalez was known as Plato. When Lagovich left, the Perkins agent asked Escalante who's Plato. Escalante identified him as the homie who shot at the victims on 65th Street. Escalante stated, "He shot, I drove." Escalante verified that Plato was also known as Glock. Following the trial, the jury convicted defendants Ricardo Gonzalez and Carlos Alexis Escalante of 1 count of first-degree murder and 2 counts of attempted murder, including gun and gang enhancements. Gonzalez was sentenced to life without parole plus 55 years to life. Escalante was sentenced to life without parole plus 30 years to life. Enrique Zarate Lopez was 31 years old at the time of death.